Precious soul, pause everything and listen carefully. God is saying, something beautiful is about to happen very soon. But if you ignore this message, you will miss it and cry for what could have been yours. Don't make the mistake of skipping this. Open this quickly by 11:57 p.m. before it's too late. This is not a random message. This is not an accident. This is not just another video appearing on your screen. There is a divine appointment attached to this very moment. Heaven has aligned time, emotion, and urgency to bring you here right now. And the clock is not just ticking, it is signaling. Something beautiful is about to happen in your life. Not ordinary, not small, not delayed. Beautiful. The kind of blessing that restores what you lost. The kind that silences your doubters. The kind that makes you look back and whisper, God was working all along. But here is the warning. If you ignore this moment, if you scroll away thinking this is just noise, you may miss the door that was opening quietly for you. God is speaking with urgency because timing matters. There are blessings that come through patience, and then there are blessings that come through obedience. This is about obedience. You have been praying. You have been crying silently. You have been asking, when will it be my turn? And have it heard everywhere. But the answer that is forming requires your attention. It requires your awareness. It requires your faith to be awake, not distracted. The number 11:57 p.m. is not random. It represents the final moments before a shift. 3 minutes before midnight. 3 minutes before something ends and something new begins. God is saying, do not wait until the clock resets to realize what you almost missed. There is a breakthrough hovering close to you. It may look like a conversation that changes everything. It may look like a call you were not expecting. It may look like an opportunity that feels too good to be true. It may look like restoration in a relationship you thought was finished. But if your spirit is not ready, you could overlook it. And later, when you see someone else walking in what was meant for you, your heart will whisper, that could have been mine. Listen carefully. Doubt is the enemy at this hour. Distraction is the trap. Delay is the strategy of the opposition. And this is where Archangel Michael stands guard. In the spiritual realm, Archangel Michael is known as the defender, the protector of destiny, the warrior who clears the path when divine assignments are about to manifest. When something beautiful is about to be released, there is often resistance. There is often confusion. There is often sudden tiredness, sudden negativity, sudden thoughts that say, it's not that important. That is not coincidence. When heaven is about to move, darkness tries to make you sleepy. But right now, Archangel Michael is symbolically standing at the edge of your breakthrough, holding the sword of clarity, cutting through every lie that says you are not chosen. He is not here to frighten you. He is here to remind you, this is protected. This is ordained. This is intentional. You have entered a narrow window. And narrow windows require quick faith. God is saying that what is coming carries beauty because it carries restoration. Some of you lost confidence. Some of you lost time. Some of you lost people you thought would stay forever. But what is coming will not replace. It will upgrade. It will not patch. It will renew. But here's the truth that may shake you. Many people pray for beautiful things, but when those things arrive, they are unprepared. They are too busy. Too skeptical. Too distracted by small problems to recognize big miracles. Do not let that be you. This is why you were pulled here with urgency. This is why the time 11:57 p.m. matters. It symbolizes decision. It symbolizes the final call before transition. It symbolizes awareness before opportunity. You are closer than you think. The tears you cried were not wasted. The nights you felt alone were not unnoticed. The silence you endured was not abandonment. It was preparation. Something beautiful is about to step into your life quietly, and the only requirement right now is that you stay spiritually alert. Guard your thoughts. Guard your expectations. Refuse negativity. Refuse hopelessness. Refuse delay. Because what you expect determines what you recognize. If you expect nothing, you will see nothing. If you expect disappointment, you will interpret blessing as coincidence. But if you expect beauty, you will recognize it the moment it arrives. God is not trying to scare you. He is trying to wake you. There are moments in life that only knock once. And when this arrives, whether through a message, a meeting, an opening door, or an unexpected shift, you must not hesitate. Act. Respond. Step forward. Say yes. Heaven is leaning toward you. The question is, will you lean back toward it? This is your warning and your invitation. Prepare your heart. Prepare your mind. Prepare your faith. Because something beautiful is about to happen very soon, and you will not miss it. Chosen one, there is a reason your spirit feels restless right now. There is a holy tension in the air, as if something unseen is rearranging pieces behind the curtain of your life. God is saying that what is about to happen is not random luck. It is the result of prayers you whispered months ago, seeds you planted in faith, and battles you survived without applause. The beauty that is coming has your name written on it, but it requires you to be spiritually awake in this hour. You have entered a season of divine acceleration. Things that felt stuck will begin to move. Conversations that were delayed will suddenly open. Doors that looked permanently shut will loosen at the hinges. But here is the hidden truth. When acceleration begins, confusion often tries to follow. You may feel unsure. You may question whether it is truly from God. You may even feel tempted to withdraw because it feels too good to be real. That hesitation is the final test before possession. God is saying, do not shrink now. You asked for change. You cried for movement. You begged heaven to intervene. Now that intervention is forming, and you must not sabotage it with doubt. The enemy cannot stop what God has ordained, but he can try to convince you to step away from it. That is why your discernment must be sharp. That is why your faith must stay active. This is where Archangel Michael's presence becomes significant again. In moments of transition, when blessings are near, spiritual warfare often increases. Not dramatic chaos, but subtle distractions. Sudden misunderstandings. Unexpected negative thoughts. A strange urge to procrastinate. Archangel Michael represents divine protection in these transitions. He stands as a warrior of clarity, ensuring that what is sent from heaven is not stolen by confusion. When you feel pressure, remember that pressure often surrounds something valuable. Something beautiful is approaching you quietly. It may not arrive with fireworks. It may not announce itself loudly. In fact, it may come disguised as a simple opportunity, a simple idea, a simple reconnection. But inside that simplicity will be transformation. That is why you cannot afford to ignore divine nudges in the coming hours and days. The urgency connected to 11:57 p.m. is about awareness. It is about recognizing that delay has an expiration date. Midnight represents a shift in spiritual seasons. 3 minutes before midnight represents the final moment of preparation. God is saying, Align yourself now so that when the clock strikes, you are already in position. Do not treat this as entertainment. Treat this as instruction. Examine your heart. Is there bitterness that needs to be released? Is there fear that needs to be surrendered? Is there a decision you have been postponing that you know deep down is necessary? The beauty coming into your life will not mix well with old negativity. New wine requires new containers. If you want the beautiful thing, you must be willing to let go of what no longer fits your next level. And hear this clearly. This blessing is not just about you. It will impact others through you. Your elevation will become someone else's answered prayer. Your breakthrough will inspire someone who almost gave up. That is why the enemy tried so hard to exhaust you before this moment. But you are still here, still believing, still watching. That alone is proof that your spirit refuses to surrender. If this message is resonating with you, engage with it. Like this video so that more souls can encounter this word at the exact moment they need it. Share it with someone who hath been feeling hopeless because they might be standing at their own 11:57 p.m. without realizing it. Comment your faith below and declare that you are ready for what God is releasing. Subscribe to this channel and become part of a community that refuses to sleep through divine appointments. And if your spirit feels stirred, consider joining the membership to stand with this mission consistently, because together we amplify what heaven is speaking. Do not underestimate your participation. When you interact, when you engage, when you publicly align with a word from God, you are making a declaration in the spiritual realm that you are not passive. You are attentive. You are ready. Something beautiful is moving closer with every passing second. And what comes next will reveal why the delay was necessary, why the silence was strategic, and why this moment could not happen any earlier. Lean in now, because what is unfolding will challenge everything you thought you understood about timing. Hold on, because what is about to be revealed will connect dots you never knew were related. Faithful heart, something is shifting in the invisible realm even as you listen to these words. God is saying that the beauty prepared for you has already been approved in heaven. It is not a possibility anymore. It is a decision that hath been signed and released. What you are experiencing right now is the final stretch before manifestation. And the final stretch is always the most intense because it tests whether you truly believe what you have been praying for. You have endured seasons where nothing made sense. Doors closed without explanation. People walked away without warning. Plans collapsed at the last minute. You questioned yourself. You questioned your worth. Some nights you even questioned God. But heaven was not offended by your tears. Heaven was preparing you for something that required maturity, strength, and spiritual awareness. The reason this moment carries urgency is because destiny windows do not remain open forever. They are precise. They are strategic. They require response. God is saying that what is about to happen will look small at first glance, but it carries the weight of transformation. It may begin as a conversation that reopens trust. It may begin as an idea that feels too simple to matter. It may begin as a sudden opportunity that interrupts your routine. But inside that moment will be the answer you have been seeking. Archangel Michael stands symbolically at this threshold as a guardian of divine timing. When heaven releases something beautiful, opposition often attempts to cloud your judgment. You may feel unworthy. You may feel afraid to hope again. You may feel tempted to delay your response. That hesitation is the final barrier. And Archangel Michael's presence reminds you that protection surrounds this blessing. You are not stepping into danger. You are stepping into alignment. God is saying that regret is not your portion. You will not be the one who looks back and says, "I almost had it." You will not be the one who says, if only I had paid attention. That is why this message reached you before the shift. It is mercy. It is instruction. It is love. There is something powerful about 11:57 p.m. It represents the sacred pause before transition. It represents awareness before the clock resets. Many people sleep through their transitions. Many people are distracted when destiny knocks. But you are being awakened in advance. That is favor. Right now, you must guard your expectations. Speak differently. Think differently. Act as if something good is already on its way, because it is. Do not allow temporary emotions to sabotage permanent blessings. Do not allow fear to disguise itself as wisdom. Sometimes faith feels risky, but obedience is always safer than delay. The beauty that is coming carries restoration. It will heal something that felt permanently damaged. It will restore confidence that was shaken. It will prove that your waiting was not wasted, but it also requires courage. You cannot receive new joy while clinging to old disappointment. You cannot step into open doors while staring at closed ones. This is your moment to rise internally before the external shift arrives. Close your eyes for a second and imagine yourself receiving what you prayed for. Notice how it feels. Notice the relief. Notice the gratitude. That feeling is not fantasy. It is prophetic. God would not allow you to sense it if it were not approaching. And now hear this clearly. Your response matters. Alignment matters. Participation matters. Type "I am ready" for what God has prepared in the comments if this is speaking directly to your spirit. Blessing code 4591 has just been released over your life. As you declare it, you are sealing your agreement with heaven's timing. And as this moment settles into your heart, understand something deeper. This message is not just for comfort. It is part of a larger mission. When you support this channel through Super Thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding a platform. You are sowing into souls. God says, when you give, it shall be given back to you, pressed down and overflowing. This is not theory. It is a living promise spoken directly over you. When you plant into this ground, you become a co-laborer in spreading light to those standing at their own 11:57 p.m. I believe in supporting this mission because I believe in rescuing destinies before midnight strikes. Your seed becomes oil that keeps this lamp burning for someone who is about to give up. Do not treat this as a casual donation. Treat it as a prophetic act of obedience. As you give, heaven records it as faith in action. As you partner, rivers open over your household. This is fertile soil. This is divine timing. Step into it boldly. Sow now, and watch how quickly God multiplies what you release. The shift is closer than you think, and what unfolds next will confirm that this was never coincidence. Beloved vessel of destiny, there is a sacred stirring taking place beneath the surface of your ordinary routine. You may wake up, go about your day, speak with the same people, walk the same paths, and yet something inside you feels different. That difference is not imagination. It is preparation. God is saying that what is about to unfold will not only change your circumstances, it will change your identity. Up until now, you have known yourself through survival. You survived disappointment. You survived betrayal. You survived seasons of lack and loneliness. You became strong because you had to. You became patient because there was no other option. But the season you are entering will introduce you to a version of yourself that is no longer just surviving, but thriving. Something beautiful is about to happen very soon, and it will reveal who you truly are when you are not fighting just to stay afloat. The urgency attached to this message is about alignment. When heaven prepares to release something significant, it also invites you to rise into the version of yourself that can carry it. If a blessing arrives before your mindset shifts, you may mishandle it. If favor arrives before your confidence is restored, you may push it away. That is why this moment feels intense. God is shaping your inner world before He transforms your outer world. There is also a reason why the warning about ignoring this message is strong. Distraction is subtle. It does not announce itself loudly. It whispers. It convinces you that this is just another video, just another motivational speech, just another passing feeling. But deep inside, you know this is different. There is weight to these words. There is timing attached to this encounter. You are not here by accident. The symbolism of 11:57 p.m. continues to echo in the spirit. 3 minutes before midnight is a thin space between what was and what will be. It is not yet tomorrow, but yesterday is already closing. That is where you are standing. You are no longer who you were, but you have not fully stepped into who you are becoming. And in this thin space, decisions matter more than ever. Archangel Michael's presence is significant here because transition zones require protection. When you are moving from one level to another, resistance can intensify. You may notice old fears trying to resurface. You may feel memories of past failures attempting to remind you of what went wrong before. But those memories are not prophecy. They are history. And history does not have the authority to define your future. Archangel Michael represents divine defense over your becoming. As you approach this beautiful shift, imagine every negative voice being silenced, every unseen obstacle being cleared, every attempt to delay your blessing being dismantled. This is not fantasy. It is spiritual assurance that you are not walking alone into what comes next. God is also saying that humility will protect you in this season. When the beautiful thing arrives, do not boast in your own strength. Remember the nights you cried. Remember the days you almost gave up. Remember the prayers that held you together when nothing else could. Gratitude will anchor your blessing so it does not slip through your hands. There is another layer to this message that you must not overlook. The beauty that is coming will stretch you. It will require courage. It will require you to say yes when fear suggests hesitation. It will require you to trust even when details are not fully visible. But this stretching is not meant to break you. It is meant to expand you. You have outgrown your old limitations. You have outgrown the small vision you once had for your life. You have outgrown the narrative that you are destined to repeat the same cycles. And now God is saying that repetition is ending. A new pattern is forming. A new testimony is being written. Be careful in these hours not to speak against what is forming. Words carry weight. If you constantly declare that nothing good ever happens for you, you are building walls around open doors. Instead, begin to speak life over your future. Say, something beautiful is coming. Say, I am ready. Say, I will not miss what God has for me. Faith is not denial of reality. It is agreement with heaven's plan above visible circumstances. The mistake many make before breakthrough is assuming that because nothing dramatic has happened yet, nothing is happening at all. But the most powerful shifts often occur invisibly first. Roots grow before fruit appears. Foundations are laid before buildings rise. What you cannot see right now is more important than what you can. In the coming moments, pay attention to subtle invitations. A thought that feels inspired. A conversation that feels timely. A door that opens without force. Do not overanalyze. Do not overcomplicate. Trust your discernment. Trust the peace that accompanies divine alignment. You are not about to cry over what could have been yours. That will not be your story. Your story will be that you recognized the moment. You responded with faith. You stepped forward when it would have been easier to step back. And when the clock of destiny strikes midnight, you will already be standing in position, not scrambling in regret. The next revelation will uncover why this blessing had to be delayed until now, and why your past seasons were essential for what is about to be placed in your hands. Warrior of faith, what you are feeling right now is the pressure of elevation. When God prepares to lift someone into something beautiful, there is often an internal shaking before the external shift. It feels uncomfortable. It feels uncertain. It feels like standing on ground that is steady but moving at the same time. That sensation is not instability. It is transition. God is saying that the delay you experienced was not denial. It was design. There were parts of you that needed strengthening. There were wounds that needed healing. There were patterns that needed breaking. If the beautiful thing had arrived earlier, you might have mishandled it, doubted it, or even pushed it away because you were still operating from an old mindset. But now you are different. You have been refined by waiting. You have been sharpened by disappointment. You have been matured by silence. And that maturity is what qualifies you for what is coming. Think back to the moments when you almost gave up. Think back to the times when you said, maybe it's not meant for me. Those were crossroads. In those moments, something invisible was being decided. Every time you chose to keep believing, even weakly, even quietly, you were stepping closer to this threshold. Faith does not have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes the strongest faith is simply refusing to quit. The urgency of 11:57 p.m. carries another layer of meaning. It represents the final call to alignment before a new chapter begins. Many people waste their final minutes before change by clinging to old fears. They rehearse past failures. They predict negative outcomes. They allow anxiety to dictate their posture. But you are being warned in advance so that you do not repeat that pattern. This is your moment to release the past fully. You cannot carry yesterday's disappointments into tomorrow's blessing. If you do, you will interpret kindness as manipulation, opportunity as risk, and favor as coincidence. God is saying, cleanse your expectations. Let your heart be light again. Let hope return without apology. Archangel Michael's symbolic presence reminds you that there has been warfare around your destiny precisely because it is valuable. No one fights over something worthless. The resistance you felt is proof of the reward attached to your obedience. And now that you are nearing manifestation, protection intensifies. Obstacles that once seemed immovable are quietly being dismantled. Conversations you thought were impossible are being softened. Hearts that were hardened are being influenced. You may not see these movements, but they are happening. There is also something deeply personal about the beauty that is coming. It is tailored to you. It is not a generic blessing that could fit anyone. It addresses specific prayers you thought were too small to matter. It touches details you never spoke aloud. That is how you will know it is from God. It will feel intimate. It will feel precise. But here is a truth that requires courage. When it arrives, you must not downplay it. You must not say, it's probably nothing. You must not shrink in false humility. Receive it fully. Accept it gratefully. Step into it boldly. Some of you will experience reconciliation. Some of you will experience provision. Some of you will experience clarity about your next move. Some of you will encounter unexpected favor that accelerates your path. Whatever form it takes, it will carry peace. And peace will be your confirmation. Guard that peace fiercely. Do not allow outside voices to contaminate what God is birthing. Not everyone will understand your shift. Not everyone will celebrate your progress. Some may question it. Some may doubt it. But you do not need universal approval to walk in divine alignment. You need obedience. This is also the hour to examine your habits. Are there distractions that consistently pull you away from focus? Are there relationships that drain your faith instead of strengthening it? As you approach this beautiful unfolding, you must become intentional. Elevation requires discipline. Blessings require stewardship. God is not only giving you something beautiful, He is entrusting you with something meaningful. A cunning shift will reveal why certain doors closed. It will explain why certain connections dissolved. It will clarify why certain plans collapsed. You will look back and realize that those endings were protection. They were redirections. They were necessary adjustments so that you would be positioned correctly when this moment arrived. And now, you stand closer than ever. Do not let impatience ruin precision. Do not let fear sabotage alignment. Stay calm. Stay watchful. Stay hopeful. There is a divine orchestration unfolding behind scenes you cannot see. Pieces are moving into place with accuracy. Timing is synchronizing. Details are aligning. And when it all becomes visible, it will feel sudden, even though it was carefully prepared over time. Hold your posture. Keep your spirit steady. Because what is about to happen will not only be beautiful, it will be undeniable. Steadfast soul, the atmosphere around you is changing more rapidly than you realize. What once felt heavy is beginning to lift. What once felt confusing is beginning to clear. God is saying that you are now stepping into the final stage before revelation. This stage is delicate because it determines whether you will walk into your blessing confidently or timidly. There is something powerful about being this close to something beautiful. It exposes your deepest beliefs. Do you truly believe you are worthy of good things? Do you truly believe that God desires to surprise you with joy? Or have you grown so accustomed to struggle that peace feels unfamiliar? This is the inner work happening right now. Before the blessing becomes visible, your mindset must accept it. You have spent seasons expecting disappointment. You prepared yourself for worst-case scenarios so that you would not be hurt again. But that survival mechanism cannot enter this new chapter with you. God is asking you to release defensive thinking. Beauty cannot settle where fear dominates. The urgency connected to 11:57 p.m. is intensifying because alignment requires action. You cannot passively drift into destiny. You must choose it. You must lean toward it. Even small acts of obedience matter now. A phone call you feel led to make. A decision you have been postponing. A step of courage that seems minor but carries spiritual weight. These small yeses build the bridge to the larger breakthrough. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that protection surrounds your obedience. If you step forward in faith, you are not stepping alone. Doubt may whisper that you are risking too much, but divine protection covers what heaven initiates. When you act in alignment, unseen forces move in your favor. At this stage, distraction will attempt one final strategy. You may feel unusually busy. You may feel mentally scattered. You may suddenly question everything. That is not coincidence. When something beautiful is about to manifest, focus becomes essential. Protect your time. Protect your thoughts. Protect your energy. There is also a deep emotional cleansing happening within you. Old grief is surfacing not to harm you, but to exit you. Old disappointments are rising to the surface so they can finally be released. Let them go. Do not cling to pain simply because it is familiar. Familiar pain is still pain. and it has no place in your new beginning. God is saying that the tears you cried in private are about to be answered publicly. The silent prayers you whispered in exhaustion are about to receive visible response. But humility must remain your foundation. When the shift happens, remember who carried you through the waiting. This message is not only for you. There are others who are standing at their own 11:57 p.m., unaware that something beautiful is forming. If this word is strengthening you, let it strengthen someone else too. Like this video so it can reach hearts that need urgent encouragement. Share it with someone who feels like giving up. Comment your agreement and declare that you will not miss what God has prepared. Subscribe to this channel so you stay aligned with every message that sharpens your discernment. And if you feel called to go deeper, join the membership and stand consistently in this movement of faith. Do not underestimate your engagement. When you publicly align with a prophetic word, you are declaring readiness. You are saying that you will not hide when destiny calls your name. And as you interact, you help push this message into timelines and homes where it can interrupt despair. Something extraordinary is building momentum. You may notice subtle confirmations in the coming hours. Repeated signs. Unexpected encouragement. A sense of calm that replaces anxiety. These are not coincidences. They are signals. They are whispers from heaven that the shift is near. But remember, the most critical moment is often the quietest one. The breakthrough does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it enters gently, waiting to see if you recognize it. Stay aware. Stay sensitive. Stay open. There is a version of you that is about to emerge, stronger and more confident than ever before. A version that no longer apologizes for believing in miracles. A version that no longer expects loss as the default outcome. That version is not imaginary. It is being formed right now. The next revelation will uncover why certain delays were strategic and why the timing of this beautiful event could not have been accelerated, even if you begged for it. What you are about to understand will change the way you view every past disappointment. Courageous heart, you are standing at the edge of realization. The fog that once surrounded your situation is thinning, and clarity is beginning to break through like the first light before sunrise. God is saying that what felt like endless delay was actually divine synchronization. Every pause, every setback, every closed door was aligning details you could not see. You once believed that if things had moved faster, you would be happier by now. But had they moved faster, key pieces would have been missing. The right timing ensures the right environment. The right environment protects the beauty that is coming. If it had arrived too soon, you would have faced battles you were not yet equipped to win. Now you are stronger. Now you are wiser. Now you are discerning. The meaning of 11:57 p.m. continues to echo with intensity. It represents precision. It represents the final alignment of details before a new chapter officially begins. You are not early. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be. That realization alone should calm the anxiety that has tried to pressure you. There were people who had to exit your life before this could enter. There were habits that had to be broken before this could be sustained. There were illusions that had to shatter before truth could stand firmly in your heart. None of it was random. None of it was wasted. God is saying that you are about to see why certain prayers seemed unanswered. You asked for one thing, but heaven was preparing something better. You requested relief, but God was building resilience. You asked for escape, but God was constructing elevation. And now the results of that hidden construction are nearing visibility. Archangel Michael's symbolic presence at this stage reminds you that protection is not only about defense, it is also about positioning. Sometimes protection removes you from places you begged to stay. Sometimes it blocks opportunities that look promising on the surface. Looking back, you may now realize that what felt like rejection was actually redirection. The beauty that is about to unfold will not carry confusion. It will carry peace. Even if it stretches you, it will not torment you. Even if it challenges you, it will not destabilize you. Peace will be your compass. When it arrives, your spirit will feel a deep knowing. Not excitement mixed with anxiety, but anticipation mixed with assurance. There is also a divine reversal embedded in this moment. Areas where you felt overlooked will become areas of recognition. Places where you felt behind will suddenly accelerate. Situations where you felt powerless will reveal hidden authority. God has a way of restoring not only what was lost, but the confidence that was shaken in the process. However, you must be careful not to revisit old mental traps. When something good begins to happen, the mind sometimes searches for reasons it will fail. That habit was developed in seasons of disappointment. But you are no longer living in that season. You are stepping into a new narrative. Begin to visualize success without guilt. Begin to expect kindness without suspicion. Begin to welcome opportunity without self-sabotage. This internal permission is crucial. If you do not give yourself permission to receive beauty, you may unconsciously resist it. There is a subtle but powerful transformation taking place inside you. You are no longer begging for scraps. You are preparing for substance. You are no longer settling for minimal change. You are aligning with meaningful shift. That shift will affect not only your circumstances, but your posture. You will stand differently, speak differently, decide differently. The urgency of not ignoring this message is becoming clear now. If you had dismissed this moment as random, you might have remained unaware of how close you are. Awareness sharpens readiness, and readiness attracts manifestation. In the coming hours and days, remain observant. Notice repeated confirmations. Notice doors that open effortlessly. Notice conversations that feel guided. These are not coincidences. They are markers. They are signals that the alignment phase is almost complete. Do not rush the final moments. Just as the last minutes before midnight are quiet yet powerful, this stage may feel calm but carries immense significance. Hold steady. Breathe deeply. Trust fully. The next unfolding will reveal how your obedience in small matters unlocked something far greater than you anticipated. And when it becomes visible, you will understand why heaven insisted that you pay attention before the clock changed. Radiant spirit, you can feel it now, can't you? The atmosphere is no longer heavy with uncertainty. There is a subtle electricity in your soul, a quiet anticipation that something is about to break open. God is saying that you are no longer approaching the threshold. You are standing directly in front of it. The door is not distant anymore. It is within reach. Everything you have endured was shaping your capacity to carry this moment. The nights of confusion build discernment. The seasons of silence built endurance. The disappointments build depth. Without realizing it, you are being prepared for a blessing that requires strength, not just desire. There is a sacred intensity surrounding 11:57 p.m. now. It represents the final breath before fulfillment. You are no longer waiting for alignment. Alignment has occurred. What remains is response. This is the hour where hesitation must die. This is the hour where courage must speak louder than fear. God is saying that the beautiful thing approaching you carries divine fingerprints. It will align with your deepest prayers in ways that feel almost too precise. It will answer questions you stopped asking. It will resolve tensions you thought would linger for years. but it will require you to move when prompted. Archangel Michael stands symbolically at this doorway as a guardian of fulfillment. When promises begin to manifest, opposition often attempts one last distraction. You may subtly feel tempted to overthink. You may feel unqualified. You may wonder if this is truly meant for you. That whisper is the final echo of an old season. Do not entertain it. Protection surrounds what God has released. The shift that is about to occur is not only external, it is internal confirmation. You will realize that you are no longer the same person who once doubted their worth. You are no longer the person who accepted less than you deserved. Something inside you has matured. Something inside you has awakened. This awakening is the true miracle. When the opportunity appears, step toward it without shrinking. When the conversation unfolds, speak with clarity. When the door opens, walk through with confidence. Do not wait for perfect conditions. The perfection is in the timing, not in the circumstances. There is also restoration embedded in this beauty. Relationships may soften. Financial strain may ease. Direction may become clear where confusion once dominated. Whatever form it takes, it will carry evidence of divine orchestration. You will look back and see how every delay, every tear, every prayer was weaving this moment together. But before that visible manifestation fully arrives, you must seal your agreement with heaven. Type "I will not miss my moment" in the comments if this message confirms what your spirit already senses. Blessing code 8824 is now activated over your life. As you declare it, you align your voice with divine timing. And as you stand at this doorway, understand something powerful. This message reaching you is part of a greater river of light flowing to countless hearts. When you support this mission through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, you are not simply giving. You are sowing into transformation. God says that when you release seed into fertile ground, harvest rises in places you never expected. I am stepping forward in obedience because I refuse to let another soul miss their 11:57 p.m. Your generosity becomes oil that keeps this lamp burning through the night. It becomes fire that ignites faith in someone who feels forgotten. This is not a transaction. It is participation in heaven's movement. As you give, heaven responds. As you partner, doors open. Do not delay this act of obedience. Sow now, and watch how God multiplies your faith into visible favor. The threshold is no longer symbolic. It is real. You are about to see with your own eyes what your spirit has sensed for weeks. And when it unfolds, you will know without doubt that this message was not exaggeration. It was preparation. The next revelation will uncover how to steward this beauty once it arrives, so that what begins as a blessing becomes a lasting testimony. Anointed listener, now you must understand what happens after the door opens. Many people focus only on receiving the beautiful thing, but few prepare to sustain it. God is saying that what is about to happen very soon is not meant to be a temporary emotional high. It is meant to become a stable new reality. And stability requires stewardship. The moment you step into this blessing, your mindset must remain anchored. Do not allow sudden success to make you careless. Do not allow answered prayers to make you forget the one who answered them. The same humility that carried you through waiting will protect you in fulfillment. You are transitioning from anticipation into responsibility. There is something powerful about this stage. The fear of missing your moment has awakened you. The urgency of 11:57 p.m. has sharpened your awareness. Now that awareness must evolve into discipline. The opportunity that is arriving will test whether you are ready to handle growth. Growth always stretches capacity. If reconciliation comes, it will require forgiveness. If provision comes, it will require wisdom. If new direction comes, it will require courage to leave familiar comfort. Beauty is not fragile, but it must be nurtured. God is saying that you are capable of sustaining what He's releasing. You are not the same fragile version of yourself from the past. You have endured too much to treat this casually. The very trials that almost broke you have become the backbone that will hold this blessing steady. Archangel Michael's symbolic presence at this stage shifts slightly. He is not only guarding the entrance anymore, he is standing watch over what hath been entrusted to you. Protection does not stop at arrival. It continues through preservation. As long as you remain aligned, unseen defense surrounds your obedience. You must also be mindful of external voices. When something beautiful begins to manifest, opinions will appear. Some will celebrate. Some will question. Some may even attempt to minimize what God has done. Guard your testimony. Not everyone needs access to every detail. Share wisely. Protect sacred developments until they are strong enough to stand publicly. This is not secrecy rooted in fear. It is wisdom rooted in discernment. There is also a temptation that can arise once breakthrough begins. You may feel pressure to move too quickly, to expand too fast, to say yes to everything. But remember, just because a door opens does not mean you must run. Walk with intention. Move with prayerful awareness. Allow peace to confirm each step. God is reminding you that the purpose of this beauty is not ego elevation, but kingdom reflection. Your blessing is designed to reflect His faithfulness. When others see your life shift, they should see evidence of divine timing, not just personal effort. This is why gratitude must remain active in you. Gratitude keeps your heart soft. Gratitude keeps pride from taking root. Gratitude reminds you that what you have received is a gift, not a guarantee. In the coming days, you may notice subtle tests, minor frustrations, small misunderstandings. These are not signs that the blessing is fragile. They are opportunities to respond differently than you would have in the past. Every mature response strengthens your new foundation. Remember how intense the waiting felt. Remember how heavy uncertainty was. Use that memory not to relive pain, but to appreciate progress. You prayed for change. Now change is here. The warning about crying over what could have been yours is no longer relevant to you. That was a possibility before awareness. Now you are alert. Now you are intentional. Now you are positioned. Still, remain vigilant. Do not drift back into complacency. Continue nurturing your spiritual sensitivity. Continue guarding your thoughts. Continue choosing faith over fear. The beauty unfolding in your life is not an isolated event. It is the beginning of a pattern, a new rhythm, a new standard. You are being introduced to a higher level of living where expectation aligns with promise. And here is the deeper revelation. This blessing is proof that you were never forgotten. Every silent season was seen. Every lonely night was recorded. Every act of quiet obedience was counted. The next stage will reveal how to expand this blessing beyond yourself, so that what began as a personal breakthrough becomes a channel of impact for others. Because what God is doing in you is never meant to end with you. Faith-filled soul, now you are beginning to see the bigger picture. What started as a warning not to ignore this message has become a revelation about destiny. God is saying that this beautiful thing about to happen is not just a private reward. It is a strategic elevation designed to position you as a light for others. When heaven blesses you, it is never random. It is intentional. Your testimony becomes someone else's survival guide. Your breakthrough becomes someone else's evidence that waiting is not wasted. That is why the enemy tried to convince you to scroll past this moment. If you had missed the awakening, you might have stepped into the blessing unprepared and unaware of its purpose. But now you understand. The urgency of 11:57 p.m. was about readiness. It was about awakening you before the shift. And now that the shift is unfolding, you must recognize your role in it. You are not simply a receiver. You are a carrier. You carry encouragement. You carry resilience. You carry proof that God's timing is exact. There will be people who observe your life and quietly ask, "How did this happen?" And your answer will not be arrogance. It will be testimony. You will remember the tears. You will remember the silence. You will remember the uncertainty. And you will say with confidence that you almost missed your moment, but you chose to stay awake. Archangel Michael's symbolic presence remains significant even now. Protection is not only about guarding you from harm, it is also about guarding your influence. As your life shifts, influence expands. An expanded influence requires stronger discernment. Not every opportunity aligns with your calling. Not every open door is meant for you. Continue to seek peace as your confirmation. God is also saying that consistency will be the key to sustaining this season. It is easy to be faithful when miracles are visible. The true test is remaining faithful when life feels normal again. Do not allow routine to dull your gratitude. Do not allow familiarity to reduce your awareness of divine favor. You are entering a rhythm of blessing that must be maintained with humility and discipline. As this message reaches deeper into your spirit, take a moment to engage with it fully. Like this video so that this word can continue traveling to those who are standing at their own turning point. Share it with someone who feels like giving up on hope. Comment your testimony as it begins to unfold, because your words may ignite faith in someone else. Subscribe to this channel so you remain aligned with messages that sharpen your spirit. And if you feel called to go further, join the membership and become an active partner in spreading these prophetic awakenings. Your engagement is not small. It amplifies impact. It pushes this message into places it would not reach otherwise. When you interact, you become part of a chain reaction of encouragement. The beautiful thing unfolding in your life will soon become visible to others. And when it does, guard your heart against comparison. Some may feel inspired. Others may feel challenged. You are not responsible for how everyone responds. You are responsible for staying aligned. There is also an expansion coming. What begins as a single blessing can multiply into new opportunities. But expansion must be paced. Live with wisdom. Seek counsel when necessary. Pray before major decisions. Growth without grounding can become unstable, but growth rooted in humility becomes unshakable. Remember how intense the warning felt at the beginning. Remember how serious the call was not to ignore this message. That seriousness was not exaggeration. It was preparation. And now you are living in the result of that awareness. The next revelation will uncover how this season of beauty connects to a larger cycle in your life, one that marks the end of an old era permanently. What is about to be understood will bring final closure to patterns that once seemed unbreakable. Steady believer, you are now standing in the awareness that an era is closing behind you. What once defined your life no longer has authority over your future. God is saying that this beautiful thing about to happen is not just an event. It is a marker. It marks the end of cycles that repeated for too long. It marks the end of patterns that drained your strength. It marks the end of questioning whether you are seen. There were seasons where disappointment seemed to follow you. Just when you thought something would work, it fell apart. Just when you felt close to breakthrough, delay returned. That pattern created a quiet fear inside you, a fear that good things never last, a fear that joy always carries hidden loss. But that cycle is breaking. The urgency of 11:57 p.m. was not only about one opportunity. It was about closing the door to repetition. 3 minutes before midnight represents the final moments of an old system shutting down. And now, spiritually speaking, the clock is striking. The old narrative is losing power. The belief that you are destined to miss out is dissolving. God is saying that this next season will not mirror the last one. You may feel a strange mixture of excitement and disbelief. That is normal. When cycles end, it feels unfamiliar. You became used to bracing yourself for disappointment. You became skilled at expecting less so that you would not be hurt. But you cannot carry that survival habit into a season of fulfillment. Archangel Michael's symbolic presence here represents the cutting away of old spiritual cords. Not dramatic but decisive. Patterns of self-sabotage are being severed. Patterns of attracting the wrong opportunities are being dismantled. Protection now includes protection from your own past tendencies. This is deeper than external blessing. This is internal freedom. You will begin to notice that situations which once triggered anxiety no longer hold the same power. Conversations that once intimidated you will feel manageable. Decisions that once paralyzed you will feel clear. That shift is evidence that the old cycle has ended. God is also revealing that some relationships will naturally shift in this new era. Not because of conflict, but because growth changes compatibility. Do not feel guilty for evolving. Do not apologize for stepping into a higher standard. The people assigned to your next chapter will align with your new mindset. There is a maturity in you now that did not exist before. You are slower to react. You are quicker to discern. You are more aware of your worth. That awareness is not pride. It is clarity. The beautiful thing about to happen will serve as confirmation that the cycle truly has ended. It will feel different from previous blessings. It will feel stable. It will feel grounded. It will not carry the hidden instability of the past. Still, remain watchful. Ending a cycle does not mean forgetting its lessons. Remember what you learned about boundaries. Remember what you learned about patience. Remember what you learned about trusting divine timing instead of forcing outcomes. Those lessons are treasures. They are not meant to be discarded. The warning that you could have cried over what might have been yours is no longer looming over you. You responded. You stayed alert. You allowed awareness to reshape your posture. And because of that, regret has lost its opportunity. As this realization settles into you, feel the relief of closure. You are not starting over. You are starting anew. You are not rebuilding from ruins. You are building from experience. The final unfolding will reveal how to seal this season with gratitude and bold expectation. What comes next will not only affirm that something beautiful has happened, but will challenge you to declare with confidence that this is only the beginning. Victorious child of God, this is the moment everything has been pointing toward. The warning, the urgency, the awakening at 11:57 p.m. It was all leading here. God is saying that something beautiful is not just about to happen. It has already begun. A shift is in motion. The door has opened. The old era has closed behind you. You did not ignore the message. You did not scroll past your awakening. You chose awareness over distraction. And because you chose to stay spiritually alert, you are stepping into what could have been missed. Feel the weight of that. There was a version of your life where you hesitated. A version where doubt convinced you to delay. A version where fear whispered that nothing would change. But that is not the version you are living. You responded to the nudge. You aligned your heart. You prepared your spirit. And now beauty is unfolding. It may appear quietly at first. A conversation that shifts direction. An opportunity that feels aligned. A peace that settles deeply within you. Do not underestimate small beginnings. The greatest transformations often enter softly, then grow steadily. God is sealing this season with confirmation. The tears you cried were not wasted. The nights you questioned were not weakness. The waiting was not punishment. It was preparation. You were being shaped into someone who could carry this blessing without losing yourself. Archangel Michael's symbolic presence now stands not at the doorway, but beside you as you walk forward. Protection continues. Clarity continues. Strength continues. What has begun will not collapse under pressure. What has been ordained will not be reversed by fear. But hear this final instruction clearly. Remain grateful and remain bold. Gratitude keeps your heart aligned. Boldness keeps your feet moving. Do not shrink after stepping forward. Do not minimize what God has done. Speak about it. Celebrate it. Walk in it confidently. This is not the peak of your story. It is the foundation of a new level. Something beautiful has started, but it will expand beyond what you currently imagine. What felt urgent at 11:57 p.m. will soon feel like the beginning of a testimony you will share for years. Now seal this moment with faith. Type "My NEW season has begun" in the comments if you receive this word completely. Blessing code 7319 is now released over your household. As you declare it, you are affirming that regret will not follow you, only fulfillment. And as this message comes full circle, understand something powerful. The very awakening that protected you from missing your moment is the same awakening that must reach others. God says that when you sow into good soil, you reap in multiplied seasons. When you pour oil into His work, He pours favor into your life. I am stepping forward in faith because I refuse to let another soul sleep through their 11:57 p.m. When you give through Super Thanks, when you join as a member, or when you sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are not supporting a channel. You are opening doors for someone else's breakthrough. Your seed becomes light in someone's midnight. Your obedience becomes a trumpet that wakes the weary. This is a prophetic act, not a casual donation. As you release, heaven responds. As you partner, blessings pursue you. Do not hesitate. Sow into this mission now and watch how God accelerates what He has started in your life. The clock has struck. The new chapter has begun. And something beautiful is no longer approaching. It is here.